Here we are at week 12 of the 2024 NFL season. It's been a crazy 12 weeks, and this past week was crazy. So let's do my week 12 picks, but first, we're going to go over my week 11 picks. For week 11, I went 10-4, and I am now a total of 107-59. I think that's pretty good. So Thursday Night Football was the Commanders taking on the Eagles. Kind of boring and slow at first, but the Eagles picked it up, and Saquon Barkley is their god. And the Eagles won. I chose the Eagles to win. Then I chose the Packers to beat the Bears, and Jordan Love is pulling out his inner Brett Favre by throwing stupid interceptions all the time. But he ran in a touchdown, I think. And then Caleb Williams had a very impressive drive at the end of the game to get them in field goal range. And then the Packers blocked the field goal. And it was really funny. And the Packers are extending their lead against beating the Bears. It's really funny. Sucks for Caleb Williams. Yeah, that sucks. Then I chose the Rams to beat the Patriots in what was a pretty close game. A good shootout between both May and Stafford. But ultimately, the Rams came out on top as Drake May threw an interception on the final drive of the game. Then I chose the Saints to beat the Browns. They won 35-14. Taysom Hill had 3 total touchdowns. He's great. Derek Carr had 2 touchdown passes. Good for him. Jameis Winston had a nice 89-yard pass completion. And not much from the Browns there. Saints demolished. Then I chose the Ravens to beat the Steelers, and that didn't happen. Lamar and the rest of the Ravens shat the bed. The defense did their best by keeping the Steelers to only kicking field goals. They lost 18-16. And Justin Tucker, I think it's time to old Yeller his ass because he missed 3 field goals. If he made at least one of them, they would have won. Well, yeah, Steelers are extending their domination over the Ravens over the past God knows how long. Then I chose the Lions to beat the Jaguars, and they demolished them. They whooped their ass 52-6. Not much to say. Lions are awesome. Jags suck. Then I chose the Vikings to beat the Titans in what was a kind of close game, 23-10. It's kind of scary to think that Will Levis, the Mayo boy, has a 98-yard touchdown throw because he threw the ball about 45 yards from his own end zone. And I don't know who the receiver was, but he ran it in for a touchdown. So Will Levis has a longer touchdown pass than 99% of all NFL quarterbacks who have played the game. That's scary because there have been passing touchdowns from 99 yards. But it's scary that Will Levis is there at 98-yard touchdown. That's scary. But the Vikings didn't have to do much. Their defense is good, of course. Brian Flores and that defense is great. Sam Darnold, he's doing better. And they're 8-2 now, and that's kind of scary. Then I chose the Dolphins to beat the Ravens. And what was a kind of close game in the first half? There were only like 4 total drives, I think. And then it unraveled in the second half. Tua looks great. The Raiders, they looked better. They looked watchable, but we shat the bed in the fourth quarter and couldn't get it done. Then I chose the Colts to beat the Jets, and it was really funny. Anthony Richardson ran in for 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers didn't have a lot of good throws. He dink and dunked the whole game, it looks like. But Anthony Richardson looked a lot better, so that's good for him. Good for a starter to do that. And the Jets are a mess. They're sitting at 3-8. The Colts are sitting at 5-6. And with the way the Texans have been playing, they might have a chance to take division. We'll see. I chose the Falcons to beat the Broncos, and I probably shouldn't have. That was just me going off of instinct, thinking that the Falcons would do something. But now they're going down a spiral, and they could lose the division to either the Bucs or the Saints because I just don't see it happening for the Falcons. The Broncos demolished them 38-6, and Bo Nix looks incredible. And it's going to be scary once he goes up against the Raiders this week. Then I chose the Niners to defeat the Seahawks. That didn't happen. Geno Smith ran it in for a touchdown on the last drive, and they won 20-17. Brock Purdy might be day-to-day. I think Nick Bosa is hurt too. And yeah, that's kind of scary too. The Niners just kind of choked it away. Not super terribly, but, against a a weird team like the Seahawks, who are in second place in the division now. Both teams are sitting at 5-5. Then I chose the Bills to beat the Chiefs, and thank God for Josh Allen and his talent. He looked incredible all game. The Chiefs didn't look super hot, really, but they were up by 2 at one point in the fourth quarter. The Bills, at least, I mean. And then on a 4th and 2, past the 50-yard line, Josh Allen said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna run the ball," and he ran it in for a touchdown. They tried to go for the 2-point, didn't make it. And then Tony Romo's like, Patrick Mahomes, never count the guy out. I know there's this much time left, but as long as he's standing, and then Patrick Mahomes threw a pick. And the ref should have reviewed a play in which one of the receivers caught the ball, but it looked like he dropped it, but they didn't go and look back on it. No one could have challenged it, but the referees could do that, but they decided not to. And it didn't matter because Mahomes threw a pick to end the game anyways. Thank God. Thank God for Josh Allen. Defeated the Chiefs. Chiefs are no longer undefeated. The 72 Dolphins popped their champagne. It's awesome. Then I chose the Bengals to beat the Chargers. And the Chargers were up by like 20 at halftime. And the Bengals looked like shit. And then the Chargers were charging it up. And they were blowing the lead. And then it was tied at 27-27. And then Bengals kicker missed some field goals. And then they couldn't capitalize on the last drive. And then the Chargers just mollywopped. They walked all over that shitty Bengals defense. Joe Burrow is playing his absolute best, but it can't get it done because his defense is awful. Chargers won. Then I chose the Texans to beat the Cowboys. And it's kind of a slow start. And it's kind of disappointing to see the Texans like that. They should be winning by a lot more against an awful team like the Cowboys, but Joe Mixon became a super football god on the field with 3 total touchdowns. Good for Joe Mixon. Cowboys suck. So now let's finally move on to my Week 12 picks. Starting off Thursday Night Football, we got the Steelers taking on the Browns in an AFC North matchup. This is going to be funny. I think the Steelers are going to do what the Steelers do best, play down the competition. It's the Steeler way. They can play good against good teams and then play awful against shitty teams. And the Steelers are kind of a scary team right now. They're sitting at 8-2. They lead the division. I think they're like 3rd in the AFC West right now. I mean, in the AFC. Damn, Steelers look scary. Russell Wilson is revived. Good for him. The Browns, on the other hand, look awful. Myles Garrett didn't do anything this last game against the Saints. Jameis Winston, he looked a little better this last game against the Saints. He looked a little better, but they just didn't capitalize on anything. And the Steelers, that defense just can lock anyone down. So this is obviously going to the Steelers. It's either going to be a mollywop or it's going to be really stupidly close. That's the Steeler way. But the Steelers look really scary right now, and they might have a shot for Super Bowl this year. And I think that'd be really cool to see, especially with Russell Wilson back. Then we move on to the Sunday games. The Vikings taking on the Bears. This is going to be the Vikings all day. Because the Bears, it's both. They have shit luck. Caleb Williams is doing what he can, but they're the Bears at the end of the day. Nothing good can happen to them. And the Vikings are playing good football. Even though they didn't have to do much against the Titans last week, Sam Darnold still looks pretty good. He looks pretty solid. And that's just kind of it. The Bears suck, and I don't think they're going to win another game for the rest of the season. So Vikings. Then we got the Lions taking on the Colts. This is kind of easy, the Lions. The Lions are on a really, really dominant streak right now. They have scored 50-plus points twice this season. Damn, I thought it was 2 weeks in a row, but I guess they barely scraped by against the Texans the week before. Huh. Interesting. Anyways, it's going to be easily the Lions on this. The Colts, as fun as they are to watch because of Anthony Richardson, even though he didn't have like an Anthony Richardson stat line this last week, he did pretty good. I just don't think it's going to be enough to overcome this hungry, dominant Lions team who look like the best team in the NFL. So it's going to be the Lions. Offensive, defensive, they're perfect. I don't see many flaws with the Lions right now. Then we move on to the Patriots taking on the Dolphins. This is going to be pretty easy. Dolphins. I like Drake May so far. He looks pretty good. And honestly, they should have started him since the beginning and let Jacoby Brissett ride the bench. But, give him time. Don't straddle him up just yet. Drake May looks pretty good. But the Dolphins are very hungry. They're very competitive. With Tua back, they look really damn good. So, solely for the fact that the Dolphins aren't terrible and the Patriots are just bad, giving this to the Dolphins. It's going to be a pretty fun AFC East showdown. Oh, I forgot to say that the Vikings and the Bears was an NFC North showdown, but who cares? The Bears suck. Anyways, Patriots, Dolphins. It's going to be the Dolphins. Tua is going to look really damn good again. That Dolphins team just looks good with Tua back. That's all I can say. Patriots suck right now. Then we got the Buccaneers taking on the Giants. It's going to be the Buccaneers. Come on. The Giants, they suck. The Daniel Jones experiment is over now. They're going to bench him for Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets, Tommy, I'm in the Mafia, Tommy. Yeah, so Danny Dimes is over. Danny Derps is over. It's done. But you're not upgrading when you have Tommy DeVito, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, I forgot his name. I don't give a shit. But come on, the Bucs are the better team. They're coming off of a bye. What do you want me to say? Bucs. They have the better team. Baker Mayfield, come on. Then we got the Cowboys taking on the Commanders in an NFC East showdown. This is gonna be the Commanders because the Cowboys are hot garbage. They look awful. Cooper Rush is your quarterback? Come on. Who the hell is Cooper Rush? Really, that sounds like a backup name. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's not good. The Cowboys are a mess. Their stadium's falling apart. The Cowboys haven't won a game at home all season. Even though they're not playing at home, they're playing in Washington. But come on. Jaden Daniels looks incredible. This team looks incredible. Yeah, they are coming off of a loss against the Eagles from last week. And most of the Eagles' scoring came in the fourth quarter. But whatever. Commanders are obviously the better team, so Commanders. Then we got the Chiefs taking on the Panthers. And I know you're going to see it already here before I say what it is. But really, you're choosing the Panthers. You know why? Because this is going to be the funniest thing to happen all season. The Panthers are going to beat the Chiefs. The joke was that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs were going to be undefeated. And only one person was going to stop it. And that being Bryce Young. Because it just sounds super funny. But the Panthers have been playing better lately. They've surpassed their win total from last season already. Bryce Young looks motivated. He looks good. And I'm happy about that because you don't want to see a quarterback downtrodden, especially this young. So solely for the fact that this is going to be the funniest thing to happen, it's going to be the Panthers. Come on. The Chiefs haven't won a game convincingly all season. You could say the game against the Saints, they won by 13. I don't give a shit. The Chiefs can play down to every team, and that includes the Panthers, who are not the worst team in football right now. That goes to the Jags or the Giants. So, Panthers are going to win this game. Let's go, Bryce Young. Yeah, I believe in you. And Chuba Hubbard. Then we got the Titans taking on the Texans in an AFC South showdown. I'm going with the Texans on this. They're obviously the more talented team. But this could be stupidly close just because the Texans have been keeping it close. They don't look super impressive. CJ Stroud's going through a weird sophomore slump. I don't have a whole lot to say on the Titans. I mean, they can look good for a while, and then they just shit the bed for the rest of the game. So I'm giving this to the Texans. It's either like the Steelers-Browns game. It's going to be stupidly close, or it's going to be a pretty good win. on the Texans' end. Then we got the Broncos taking on the Raiders. The Broncos are sitting at 6-5. They look good. Bo Nix looks really good. Sean Payton runs stupidly. I don't care what anyone says. Bo Nix looks really good. I texted my brother before the season started and I said, hey, I think Bo Nix is going to get Offensive Rookie of the Year for the dumbest reason imaginable. And, Bo Nix looks really good. The Raiders, on the other hand, they looked watchable last week. It wasn't until the fourth quarter when Gardner Minshew threw that stupid interception that everything went downhill from there, and the Dolphins scored another touchdown, and that really put the game away. But the Raiders looked better without Luke Getsy. And also we have Brock Bowers, and Brock Bowers is incredible. I'm pissed because I didn't start Brock Bowers. I had Sam Laporta, and then Sam Laporta was ruled out, and I didn't know that until Sunday when the game started right away, and I lost in fantasy by like 0.3 points, and the person I was playing against isn't even playing anymore, but the account is still there, and that person, it was my cousin. She had Taysom Hill and Jamar Chase. So yeah, that sucked. Joe Mixon almost saved me. But anyways, back to this game. Brock Bowers, he is the best player on this damn team. He's absolutely incredible. I feel bad for saying, why do we pick a tight end when we picked Michael Mayer the year before? We already have a tight end. Because I don't know college, but damn, this guy's impressive. He's strong, he's built, he's fast, he can make great catches. This guy's going to be special. But it's not going to amount to anything if we have bad quarterback play and no run game to speak of. Broncos are taking this easily. I'm sorry. This AFC West showdown is going to be pretty sad. Broncos are going to go for the sweep. Then we got a matchup that'd be more exciting if it was a few years ago. The Niners taking on the Packers. I'm giving this to the Niners because although they're dealing with injuries again, if Purdy's playing, he's the better quarterback. I like Purdy better than Jordan Love. I used to like Jordan Love better, but Brock Purdy has been balling out with dealing with all the injuries, dealing with all the bullshit that he's been having to deal with all season. The way he can extend plays, I like Brock Purdy. I really do. I flipped the script on him. Without the joke being that he has the Avengers, he has his super team, and Kyle Shanahan's a genius when it comes to drawing up plays. But with dealing with all the injuries, I was really impressed by what Brock Purdy was able to do. How he's able to extend the plays, and not have his super team around him for a while throughout the season. I'm more impressed with Brock Purdy as every game goes by. I flipped the script on him. I used to say it's both him being a good quarterback and being a product of the Shanahan system as well as having a super team around him. But he doesn't look like he's making a bunch of stupid mistakes like Jordan Love on the other hand. He's throwing stupid interceptions. And also, I keep forgetting to mention Josh Jacobs every time I talk about the Packers. He's doing pretty solid on the Packers right now as their running back. Good for him. He's on a winning team, so good for him. But I'm in the minority here as of now, 53-47. I'm going with the Niners on this. I think they're the more scrappy, fun team. Even though they blew it to the Seahawks, I think they're going to turn it around and they're going to beat the Packers this week. Jordan Love's going to throw some stupid interception to lose the game because he's trying to play hero ball or whatever. Then we got an NFC West showdown. The Cardinals taking on the Seahawks. The winner of this game, I believe, will have sole possession of the NFC West as of now because they'll have the same record if the Seahawks win. But if the Cardinals win, they'll still hold on to that division lead. The Cardinals are coming off of a bye. Are they? 10. I don't care. The Cardinals are a sneaky team. The Cardinals are a fun team. They've been really fun to watch these past few weeks. I think they're legit now. Kyler Murray has really been balling out. The Seahawks, on the other hand, have been up and down, up and down. Geno Smith doesn't look like how he used to before, when he first arrived at the Seahawks. But he won against the Niners last week in a game in which no one thought they were going to win. But I'm giving this to the Cardinals because they've been more fun to watch. They haven't had so many downs as the Seahawks had this year. The Seahawks are just too weird to gauge sometimes. So I'm giving this to the Cardinals. I think this is going to be a fun game. Then we got Sunday Night Football. The Eagles taking on the Rams. I'm going with the Eagles on this because they're the more solid team. They have the winning record. They're not struggling as much as the Rams are. They're the better built team. They have the better younger roster, the better younger quarterback. They have the better run game and the better defense. The Eagles are playing really damn good football. The Rams, on the other hand, are keeping it competitive with every game they play. I still like the Rams. I still think they're fun to watch because they're scrappy, because they're competitive. They're not lying down taking losses. Let's look at the Rams so far. I don't think they've lost a really bad game this season, have they? Let's see. Well, it looks like their worst loss came to the Cardinals 41-10. And other than that, these games have been really close. The Rams are not going to lie down and accept the beating. They're going to fight back. And they've been injured, but they've got Nakua and Kupp back. They're just fun to watch. They're really fun. This is a really good choice for the Sunday Night Football game. But I'm going with the Eagles on this just because they're the more well-rounded, better team. And then Monday Night Football, we got the Harbaugh game. The Ravens taking on the Chargers. The Chargers, I had said, they have a winning record, but it doesn't mean they're a good team. You know why? Because they let the Bengals come back after they were up plus 20. Come on. I'm not going to believe this Chargers team is good until they win a playoff game. I'm sorry. Or until they go to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say this team's good. I want to see Justin Herbert rip it more. And he did look pretty good this past game. He had a lot of really good throws. But on the other hand, the Ravens have been dealing with their own shit. Bad loss of the Steelers. Justin Tucker's not what he used to be. Lamar shit the bed. Well, I mean, he didn't shit the bed. He just didn't look super good. The Steelers kind of own his ass, I think. But Lamar just... I believe in him more. I believe in this team more. Their defense isn't as good, but I think the quarterback play is going to be the deciding factor in this game. So I'm giving this to the Ravens. I like the Ravens more. Fuck the Chargers. I hate the Chargers. I despise the Chargers. Not just because I'm a Raiders fan, but because fuck the Chargers. They had everything good. They have all the talent. They just couldn't do shit. And now they could do it, but I'm not going to believe it because fuck them. That's why. And they almost let the Bengals come back. So anyways, those are my Week 12 picks. This has been a very interesting season so far. Who are the teams on the bye this week? The teams on the bye are the Bills, the Bengals, the Falcons, the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Saints. Teams that need rest. Especially the Saints if they're going to try to come back and win division, which I think is very possible. The Bills definitely need that after beating the Chiefs, using all of their mana to beat the Chiefs. I don't give a shit about any of those other teams. So anyways, what'd you think about my picks? I'm having fun making these videos. And I'm going to have this out before Thursday Night Football again. Raking those views that I've been getting lately. That's been kind of cool. So anyways, again, what'd you think about my picks? What are your picks for this week? Tell me what you thought about it in the comment below. Go check out my other videos. I just dropped a podcast the day before this came out. I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So, yeah, bye. And also, the Raiders suck.